All right, welcome guys. So typically we do a review at this time of day on, the calendar and the Vetter events and all that good stuff. And we got it down to 20 minutes. Just for those that are kind of just starting to plug into everything, those are going to get a lot more succinct as we meet with our vetters and we vet projects together. We get the Vetter Trading Club going. Over the course of about a week and a half to 2 days from now, it's going to get very, very streamlined. But between now and then, it'll be kind of a candid review of just my process of how I come in and I vet projects myself and that kind of thing. But today's a little bit different. Today, we're going to do a marketing update. We promised to do this on February 1st, our first real marketing update. So let's get at it. So I really want you guys to understand what good marketing really is all about as we enter into this process. And I'll give you an update on where we're at, on the funnels that we're putting together, but also the bigger picture, because I know most people who haven't been marketers, they think they know what marketing is, but they really don't. And once you have a better idea what it is, you'll really understand what we're putting into this and why we're doing it the way that we are, and you'll have a better understanding where we're at. So first of all, there's really four main components to this marketing strategy. Number one, we've talked a lot about how we're going to move forward. We've done some of this already, of course, with the early launch, but it's very different when you're developing a long-term sustainable system. So we turned all that off, as you guys know, and everyone's like, turn it back on, turn it back on. Hopefully at the end of today, you'll understand why that wasn't something we should rush into once we realized there were some things we needed to work out, or we would have just wasted a lot of money like a lot of projects do. Number one of the four components, press and PR. I include BitBoy and influencers in that, and I'll explain why in a second. And those are the press releases. This, first component, influencers and press releases and stuff like that, and news articles that you pump out there, mainly brings awareness to Vetter brand and the solutions we solve. But there is no way to track conversions. So you can't actually see if you're getting any results from those places. And there's no way to therefore scale up to know that, oh, for every dollar we spend, we get 5 people plugging into Vetter platform, buying 100,000 Vetter tokens. Let's crank it up. Let's spend $1,000 a day. Let's spend $10,000 a day, and then we can anticipate the result. You can't do that with press, PR, and influencers. So with this, though, you still do get conversions. You just can't track them. So it's mostly about brand awareness. Now, to get more out of it, though, to increase the conversions that you don't know how many you're getting, but to increase the number that you're going to get from the spend, and some of this stuff is very expensive when you're doing press and PR and influencers, you want to make sure the pages they're landing on are really good. And you want to make sure the product is developed well enough that people are going to stick. And so that's what we've been doing. Also, with the four main components to our marketing strategy, you got YouTube. And this was what I was going to update you a lot on today in terms of the testing that we're doing. As usual with testing in the early process, we ran into snags. I'm going to talk about that and what we're going to do next to get out of those snags and turn the challenges into opportunities, because that's what it is all about. So biggest advantage with YouTube ads and these kinds of ads in general is you can test, you could put out like spend $100 here, $200 there, look at your result and track your results, track your conversions. That is, for every dollar I spend, I get X back. And then once you dial in a winning ad and a winning funnel, a funnel is they land somewhere, maybe they watch a video, you send them somewhere else, maybe they watch a class, and you encourage them to buy a Vetter token or to do this. And that's a conversion. Once you see how much you're spending per conversion and you like it, you can scale up, you can turn the dial up, and you can predict and anticipate your results. You can know for every $10,000 I spend, I'm going to get this conversion. I'm going to get this result. That's why marketers really like these kinds of ads. That's why I really like these kinds of ads. Now, there's an odd problem that I've never run into before this model, is it doesn't bring in any revenue. And this is why most crypto projects fail. And this is why, if we're not thoughtful and good stewards of what we've been in charge and put in charge to do, which is do good marketing, And if we don't overcome some of these challenges that 99.99% of the people with crypto projects don't even try to overcome because they don't have any business experience. If we don't do it different, and then we'll fail like the rest of them. And we're not going to do that. So the problem is, good marketing makes sure that if you spend $10 on marketing, you're getting $11 back, at least. Good marketing is not you spend $10 and you get $0 back, which is what the crypto model does, unless you fix it. Because we don't, it's not set up to have a revenue generating stream unless we create them. And so what that means, and whatever all these other crypto projects are doing, and what a lot of people wanted us to do, is they spend all of their ad dollars and then they're gone and then it dies. But we're not going to do that. We're going to solve that problem. So, spoiler alert, so far, none of our ad campaigns are running on YouTube. So that kind of sucks, but we have learned a lot in trying to get our ads on YouTube. Now, we had them on originally during the launch, but we ran into some problems, and that's what we've been aiming to overcome. And that's what I'm going to update you on right now. So again, remember, you can track conversions and you can scale, which is why we're so committed to YouTube. I mean, there's so many easier things we could do. We can turn our PooCoin ads on. We can turn Dex tools on. You can blow a lot of money. We can send $25,000 a week to Anonymous to run all of our advertising for us. They did it for SafeMoon, but we gave them 25 grand. And quite frankly, I wasn't convinced that they could do, half the conversions we could do with 25 grand. So I don't mind if we have lots of extra money to burn, putting a bunch of people in place and spending a bunch of money, make things move fast. But, we want to be a little bit thoughtful about this process and not just burn all the money. So I don't mind putting a bunch of troops in gear, but I want to be leading the way before we have 25 grand spend going out to them and everything else. So I can compare their results to ours. I love YouTube. The fact that it's a little tricky advertising crypto ads with them is not a big deal. It's not a problem I haven't overcome before, but it is a little tricky. But I just want you to know, I'm so committed to this process with YouTube specifically because you can track conversions and dial in a winning combination. In other words, you spend $1, you get $2 back, and you can scale that up and just blow everybody away. And the fact that it's hard to advertise this type of a thing on YouTube just makes me more excited because it weeds out our competition. So I'm going to give you an update with where we're at, what we're doing, what's going on. So remember, YouTube is only number 2 of 4 different components that we're using to market. In the end, it won't be the biggest, but I do want to put every dollar to work for us and optimize it. And I don't just want to spend it and have it be gone without having control over the results. So that's why I'm so committed to this process, and every good marketer is. YouTube produced the highest conversions in our pre-sale that we could track, that we know. Again, you can't track the influencer ads. We spent 30 grand on a Twitter influencer I've shared with you guys. We spent, I don't know, massive money on influencers. I had no way to see what kind of result we were getting with them. I'm pretty dang sure, because I was no way to test that. I could see these results. Pretty dang sure YouTube blew them out of the water. So that's why I'm so committed to this, even though it's the hardest to get going.
Yeah, one was 36,000 and he proved less than some
There you
others.
are, Robin.
Yeah.
Where were you when I needed you?
I was in the
Robin, we only have 9 minutes left, so I'm just going to roll here.
Okay. Here.
YouTube policies don't allow ads for ICOs, for pre-sales. Since Vetter is a research tool, these ads should go through. In other words, right now, I mean, during our pre-sale, when they were letting us run them, we were actually an ICO and they were letting us run them. Now they should be letting our ads go through, but they're not, because robots are managing it. It's all about keywords. They're just finding these keywords like crypto pre-sales, ICOs that are used in the video. They can't distinguish that from the fact that we're just a research tool for those types of projects. So what did we have to do? We had to set out and test. What we've been tied up doing is testing, just which words trigger the robot, quite frankly. Like because I'm seeing ridiculous ads in crypto that are pie in the sky, BS, promising the world, buy my product and I'm going to make you rich. So I know you can get shit through, but what keywords are triggering it, what keywords aren't, This is a common challenge. This is what we've had to been testing. The conclusion was all of the keywords get blocked. Anything that we want to use related to anything that we do gets blocked. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world though. So we can't use any wording in the ad that refers to ICOs, pre-sales, et cetera. So we can't talk in the ad at all about what Vetter does. We can use wording that refers to DeFi, cutting edge crypto research tools, an ecosystem for those ready to conquer crypto, bringing efficacy to the space. And we can talk about the how-to videos and how we can help beginners tie into all this and take advantage of it. That's the brand. So I'm going to talk a little bit later. We're going to do videos like that. That's the branding. And by the way, that's the brand we want to get in front of BitBoy and all the top influencers out there before, in the next couple of weeks, we approach them. We want them already to know who we are with this message in front of them and with those types of keywords and that kind of value connected to what Vetter is. And we can target them. I'll talk about that in a minute. We can also use wording like, quote, learn how we get a 10X, a 30X, a 100X in days, hours, and often even in the first few minutes of entering a trade. Wouldn't you like to know how we're doing that? And not only are we doing that, our entire community is doing that. Click to learn how. We can say that. We can say that. That's the hook. The biggest flaw with using ads for this model, again, is it doesn't produce income when you're in the crypto space. That's kind of stupid. A marketer would think that's pretty stupid. You spend $100, you don't have anything coming back. When the ad budget is spent, it's gone. This is what most crypto projects are doing. It's why you see them die. Unless you're smart enough. And I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, as they say, but I've gotten really good at marketing and I understand the importance of creating new revenue streams if you're going to market and be good at it. That's why nearly all these crypto projects that you see launching are failing, and it's where we're not going to fail. So we're setting things up so you can afford to keep the marketing going. That's the most important outcome that you're trying to do with effective marketing. So just keep that in mind. So here's what's coming up next: testing specific components of branding and the hook. I just mentioned what the branding was, the basic messaging of it, that we can use all the keywords we want to say what we want to say about what we do on YouTube ads. We know that much now. And we can use the hook I just mentioned. We can talk about the 10Xs, the 30Xs that we can, accomplish, that our community is accomplishing sometimes within minutes of entering a trade. We can use that hook. So here's test one funnel, the branding video. Remember the branding message, right? So this is going to lead with that branding message about, this awesome ecosystem, about conquering crypto, about how-to videos to make it easy, et cetera, et cetera. The video library, the video vault we're coming out with any day here on the dApp is going to be a part of that. So this leads with the branding message. It teases with the hook. It still teases with the hook, but it leads with the branding message. And we're going to put that in front of, we're going to target the hell out of BitBoy's channel and other top influencer channels. So they get to connect Vetter to that high value stuff. And then that's going to lead to the video library, which is coming out in the dApp. And that's going to lead to Vetter and people purchasing Vetter token to get access to Vetter. We're also going to incorporate ways to monetize. A lot of you guys know that we're coming out with ways for people to pay us to advertise, to do AMAs, all these kinds of things going to bring in revenue. And that allows us to spend $1 to make $1 so we can keep advertising. That's the key. Test two. So here's the second funnel, the hook video. Remember the hook? I just read it a little bit ago. We're going to lead with the hook in this ad that we're testing on YouTube, which we know we can use those keywords and we can say without it getting blocked. This teases with the branding, but it leads and focuses on the hook, on the cheesy stuff, on the stuff that really makes people get excited. The 10Xs, the 30Xs, learn how we're doing this within minutes of entering the trade, that kind of stuff. And then we back up. And by the way, if you want to learn about crypto, DeFi, conquering the space, we got that too. This targets less quality influencers. We'll sneak it in front of BitBoy and all of them, but we'll mostly lead hard with the other influencers because they like that more sexy stuff. And then, although BitBoy's audience does too, by the way, we just want to make sure he knows that we're the real deal. So when we reach out to him, he's going to say, yeah, I know these guys. They're the real deal. They're offering real value. Okay, so that leads into a free class, which I'm still putting together. Not as easy as it might sound. We test several funnels with different classes and different types of classes. Some might focus on different aspects of DeFi. And then we test which one leads to Vetter, the purchase of the token. Again, we can track these conversions. That also leads to the monetization. So we get the money back so we can keep advertising, which is what nobody else in this industry seems to know how to do. Okay, so at the onset, I just want you guys to know that I'm willing to pay a lot more for the leads on the top that are attracted to the branding video, and really track what the long-term value of those customers are. In other words, do we get a lot more monetization back from them, and do they stick better, than the people who come in from the other one? I'm going to suspect that they do, so we're willing to pay a little bit more until we've tested that thoroughly and figured it out. We're going to give you an update in the next 2 weeks on where we at with testing this. We're putting these videos and these classes and all this together now. It might sound super duper easy, and like you might be able to do it in days or hours, but it takes me just a little bit longer. 4 main components to our marketing system, our marketing strategy. We talked about Bitcoin press releases. We talked about YouTube. There's also the actual quality and integrity of the product itself. Product integrity is paramount to the effectiveness of the ads and the influencer marketing. Elon Musk said it himself, we don't advertise, Tesla never advertises. We decided to focus on the product and let that be what brings in the crowd. I'm paraphrasing, but he said that a lot in a lot of different ways. So vote auditing. With the color-coded ranking at 100% efficacy. So when when you're looking at purples, like they really know what they're doing. Excellent scouts, excellent vetters, making sure we have them, ways to hold each group accountable and help them improve if they need to improve. Systems to effectively compensate those who are bringing this value. These are things that we've been working hard on. And it's all on the, marketing. It's marketing. Because just like you can't say that Elon Musk wasn't a fantastic marketer. This is the hardest part of marketing, to facilitate product integrity. We've got to have effective administration. We're facilitating leadership that's emerging from the community. We're developing new administrative tools constantly, hours and hours and hours and hours of conversation to develop those. No one in the community is giving us any credit for it. You don't see people jumping up and down about it, but damn it, it's valuable. We're doing this every single day. And this is going to lead to significant success, which is what we're after. And I think you guys are too. We got to be able to manage those compensation incentives. So we need administrative tools to do that. We don't want to be wasteful about it. That's why we had to turn down the voting, what we're paying for all that stuff, and figured all that stuff out. It takes time. This is all marketing too. And I'm hoping more and more of you will not only recognize it, but start talking about it, because that's also part of the marketing. Support improving the scouting, the vetting, and voting system all takes administrative tools that we're building. So this dApp and all of this that we're putting into it, and all of the resources found in its ecosystem will become so compelling, it attracts like a magnet by itself. That was Tesla's model. That's also a major component. That's number 3 to this 4-component marketing strategy system. Number 4 is a synergistic ecosystem. This is when one gear in the ecosystem is turning, like Vetter. Think of Vetter like a gear. And at the same time, that's fueling another gear and vice versa. So example, when the launch pad, we're having a call on that tonight, is in place, which is going to be part of this ecosystem, it will be part of the same ecosystem as Vetter. It will generate millions of dollars in free advertising for Vetter automatically. Ding, light bulb. That is the biggest, most valuable thing that I can bring to this team as a marketer, is setting that up. Other planned additions to Vetter ecosystem, in addition to the Launchpad, chart tools competing with PooCoin and DEX tools, token listing tools similar to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, other resources like these that are free to access for thousands and thousands of people every day, that generate massive traffic that we can then send into other resources like Vetter within the ecosystem. And that also offer massive income streams. Remember how that's like the number 1 problem with this model that's breaking everybody? We're gonna be able to generate massive income with those models, including the Launchpad, for profit sharing for people that hold tokens and stake them, for buyback, so we can buy back like Vetter and these kinds of things, and to expand the ecosystem. So that's gonna be the most powerful thing, because for example, with the Launchpad, when you've got one project after another spending, raising BNB and sending people in Telegram groups and spinning ads on PooCoin, sending everybody there every day, we're going to be driving that to Vetter. It's going to be literally millions of dollars of free advertising constantly. Again, join us on tonight's private sale announcement at 6 p.m. Pacific to see exactly what we mean. I'm pretty sure everybody will get it after that. So again, marketing sort of sucks during these early testing phases. I expect we'll have ads fully running though, with numbers to share with you guys in our update in about 2 weeks. We're still on track to tackle marketing roadmap tasks listed for February that we went over before. We're going to be focusing on these 2 funnels specifically. And we should also have more to report, as we talked about, being planned for February with things in motion on the influencers and PR. Again, when we start the ads on YouTube that I just described, it's part of this strategy, you know, putting tons of ads in front of BitBoy's channel. He's going to see him, his team's going to see him, vetter. And it's going to be positioned with high value branding. And oh, by the way, 10X, you know, 100Xs in minutes of entering a trade, you know, people are going to click. That's the hook. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I'm trying to discipline myself to keep these to 20 minutes, and that was 23 minutes, not too bad. Vetter Q&A starts. If anyone has any questions about this, or you need technical support, questions about anything really, we'll start back here. See us in 7 minutes, and I'll just leave this on. I'm going to hit pause and mute myself and work on a few things, get some water, maybe get some coffee. I'm still drinking yesterday's. And I'll see you back here in a few minutes at 11:30 Pacific. That should say 2:30 Eastern. 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 in the afternoon Eastern time. I'll see you guys in a few minutes if you got any questions and want to hang out. Hey everyone. I just wanted to mention those that are checking back in here for the Q&A session. If you didn't know, we're setting all this up the way that we have it to prepare for scale. So I know it's different than what we've done before, but yeah, every Monday through Saturday we'll have these 20-minute reviews. Typically they'll be on the Vetter calendar and stuff like that, but every once in a while we'll have like a planned event like this was to go over where we're at with the marketing and stuff, what we just did, and then we move into the Q&A session on any topic. And that's just kind of to set up a structure where all the new people coming in from the marketing ramp can plug in and they'll see the little banner ad soon in the Vetter, and there'll be millions of ways they get funneled in here to ask whatever questions they're running into. I mean, the environment's going to change very dramatically over the next month. So we're just getting the structure in place. We might play around, change a few things before then, before it fully ramps, but that's what we're gearing up for. All right, so let's open this up to Q&A. It can be a question on anything. It can be on what we just went over with the marketing. It can be on a technical question, anything at all. We even have Jeremy here, who's a whiz on all the tech stuff. I mean, one of the highest level devs in the world here to help you figure out a little thing you're dealing with on MetaMask. It's pretty cool. So we got a lot of resources here. Go ahead and
The Vetter has his hand up or her hand up.
Vetter, awesome. I love the name. The Vetter, I'm going to click ask to unmute and you should be able to go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm audible.
Adu? You there?
It looks like he's muted again.
Sometimes it happens.
Go ahead and try to unmute one more time. We heard you and then you disappeared. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm back.
Okay,
so
great.
I just want to have one question. When we are going to open main Telegram channel, so we are going to open before marketing, or when the marketing is going to start, then we are going to open a main Telegram channel. That's my question.
Yeah, we're really, really close. And I know some of you are you want to know the exact day and hour, and I understand, but here's what we're trying to figure out first. We have a number of people that have reached out for us to do AMAs, and they're going to be paying us to do those AMAs, which, like I talked about it, for those of you that were just here 30 minutes ago, when I did the marketing update, one of the biggest reasons why most of these projects fail is because they don't bring in new revenue. That's going to be one of the revenue streams that allows us to keep advertising, to keep developing, which helps everybody. And so part of this process is with the large Telegram group is we're going to do AMAs with the large Telegram group. First, we want to bring in the vetters, our best vetters, and have an incentive in place for them to help us vet these projects. So we're not just introducing anybody and everybody in an AMA to the community. So we're getting all of that organized right now. And we already have lots of people reaching out for the AMAs. We have lots of vetters. We're just trying to bring it all together. And, and then just open up the large Telegram, start doing the AMAs, and hopefully the regular AMAs will hopefully bring a environment of value and great conversation in there. And it will be an attractive Telegram group and not what it was before, where I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I mean, that Telegram group was so bad for a while that I just wanted to quit. Like I had to turn it off just for my sanity. And so you don't want that. You don't want like the people that worked the hardest for a project to dislike its community. Like it's not a good thing. And
Well,
so
one thing is this morning I woke up and
there's so many great people in this community.
I just want to say there's 3 different scammers.
Robin, I don't want it to be left
group.
off. I don't want my last words to be, I hate our community. So let me finish the thought, please. So there are amazing people in this community. You guys know that. But that Telegram group was not representative of that community. And so we're just trying to put things in place so that Telegram group is valuable and not crap, so that the cool people in our community are there more than whoever else was there that was making it so crappy. And so it's exciting to be there and it's positive to be there. So that's all. We're just getting all in place. And I think that's going to be the solution. If we have AMAs and we bring a lot of value there, I think that's going to attract our best, all the great people in our community there. And I think that's going to automatically create the culture that we're looking for. So we're just trying to bring that all together. Robin, if you have anything additional to say about when you think that's going to happen, because I know a lot of that, you know, you're weeding a lot of these people reaching out, you know, out in terms of like who's you know, going to be doing the AMAs and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm building out the video vault as you described and creating some videos and adding new videos and kind of branding that, which will lead into the branding of the front end, you know, the back end.
But he was asking about the large Telegram.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
You're leading up to that. Okay.
So yeah, I'm building context.
All right. Okay.
So as I'm doing that, yeah, a lot of people are reaching out for AMAs, and I actually received like 8 of them over the past week. And I have been reaching out, and everybody's from all over different parts of the world. Some projects already have launched, so they're an IDO. Some of them are launching in March, but there's like time sensitive. If this, then, you know, they'll launch if things are in place. And so I am going to be working with, and I just actually sent a message out to Kevin, Crimson Tide, Kurt Vetter, to try to get some vetting going for the AMAs to support me before I kind of give them the check mark of like, yes, we're going to do this. So I'm working on that process. And as I'm working on that, what, you know, when we start doing the live AMAs in that group, obviously there's going to be an open discussion. What I'm going to look for is, you know, I'm going to have the chat open. We're going to do live AMAs and we're going to kind of see how it goes. I'm not like going to be very strict on, we're just going to open it and that's it. It's going to be something where I'll feel it out and see how it works, because what I was saying earlier is I got messaged by 3 different people in the community in Telegram this morning, and I woke up and there were 3 different scam groups that literally are messaging people from the large Telegram group saying, you know, hey, VPAD is ready to go, send your money here, which is really funny because in our Telegram group in the pinned post, it says that we haven't launched yet and it's not going to be called VPAD, you know, and so that is still going on. It's very strange, but it's happening. And so I just need to feel it out. I want to kind of wait until the AMAs are going to be held. I want to get some of the vetters like I'm just describing now. I'm going to get that going and we're going to kind of slowly transition into it, see how it goes, see how the community supports it. And then kind of evaluate, you know, I may have to mute the group again, just to kind of clean things up and strategize on moving forward before we like say, okay, it's just open now and that's that. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. But, you know, I'm going to kind of ease into it and see how it goes and feel it out. And I'm open, you know, I'm open to suggestion as we go.
And let me just say, if we see when we open up the large Telegram group, if we see that it's making scammers more money stealing from our community than it's helping us grow, we will turn it off. Like if that's what it's doing. But hopefully we can get it figured out. We're doing our best. Like yeah, it sucks to see people getting stolen from left and right. It's really sad. So guys, remember and get the word out. We are not going to call the Launchpad project is not going to be called VPAD. We call it that now because that was going to be the original name, but another token after we used it, I don't know if they got it from us or it was just a coincidence, but another Launchpad launched with VPAD as its name in December after we had, you know, shared it. So we're not going to use that, but we're not going to give the actual name of the Launchpad until the very end so that people know if somebody's saying, you know, VPAD is open, they know it's a scam. Because we will never launch something called VPAD. We're calling it VPAD, but we'll release the actual name at the last minute. So that's how you can know something's a scam. So make sure you get the word out on that. So anyway, we're definitely opening up the large Telegram group. We're going to test the heck out of it. We really want it to work, you know, but it needs to be valuable and it needs to be, you know, I don't know. I would guess like 2 weeks away. Robin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm hoping Yeah,
maybe the AMA starts sooner, but
I'm thinking probably 2 weeks because I need to kind of formalize some things. There are a bunch of people who messaged me this morning and yesterday saying like, let's just do the AMA. And I'm like asking questions that some of them can't answer. I'm like, what's your use case and what need do you serve? Who's your audience and what do you guys really do? What makes you different?
Robin, we do need to talk more about, there aren't a lot of high standards in this market. I don't know that if we force our high standards onto everybody, there might not be enough left. So we may want to lower our standards and just let people know,
yeah,
that, because I think people are used to making a lot of money on projects that have really low standards. And we don't want to prevent people from being able to, I like to enter in projects and make a lot of money. And, if the project's gone tomorrow, so be it. But I think we just need to, so Robin, I don't think we need to, rule them out per se.
For sure.
We just need
if they can't answer the question of what do you guys really do that makes you stand out. I don't know if we have like a deal breaker question,
but again, maybe the AMA is, they can't answer the question publicly in front of everybody, why
not? I know my standards,
I think we need to lower our standards a little bit and allow ourselves to be a little bit more inclusive and just let everybody make their own decisions. I did on the call the other day, I showed everybody a project that was clearly not a good project, but it did like a 3 or 4x in the first 24 hours. So, who cares if it's not a good project, right? If you can get a 3 or 4x, it's a crazy time, so we got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah. And I think honestly, like, because people ask from other projects, like, can we warn people about rug pulls or stuff like that, like bring in other mechanisms? And I'm like, Vetter's not supposed to tell you what is what. You're supposed to come in and assess the research based on the vetting and based on the data that you see and all of the insights and the ranking system, the color-coded ranking system that informs you to be, to make wise decisions for yourself, which of course, learn to fish, you'll have fish for life. If I just give you a fish, it's like you have no idea what to do.
And so, everyone's gonna yawn like yada yada yada, right? They want to they want to know like what's gonna work, and they don't want to do the work themselves, and like that's okay. So every Monday through Saturday, the first 20 minutes, we're going to be sharing with you the gems from my research. Again, I'm not telling you what to invest into, but I think that's going to be what most of you are looking for in terms of saving lots of time, leveraging the research that we're doing. Obviously, I'm going to hold some of it back for those that are in our Discord that are contributing to that, but I'll be giving you guys in 20 minutes a lot of that kind of value. Anyway, let's go to more questions.
Yeah, Sarah has a question, McAllister.
Awesome. So did you click ask to unmute?
Yep, she's good.
Yep, right, go just unmuted. Hello, Vetter team and Vetter fam on the call.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
Oh, stinking spectacular. How are you?
I love it. Good.
Good. Well, I wanted to back up for a second to something you said earlier that, what you guys are doing in the platform with the integrity of it, nobody's jumping up and down for it. And I think there really are a lot of us that are watching what you guys are doing, recognizing that, when the Telegram isn't open or when ads aren't running, it's not because you guys are sitting around drinking Mai Tais, it's because you're executing masterfully. So thank you for that. And there are a lot of us who do see it. Just on the perspective, I think a lot of people know in the community, like I came in, this is the first crypto I ever invested in, lost my entire life savings to theft through the Telegram. And, day 5 of being in crypto. And I think that's one of the differences that you guys make in crypto is that you're creating a safe place for people to come in that are tired of, I run businesses, I own businesses. I'm tired of dealing with employees. I'm tired of running someone else's business that isn't doing what, they should be to see ultimate growth. And we can, we have this opportunity. It's like the damn industrial revolution right now. We have this opportunity to create millionaires, multimillionaires this year. And I just wanted to share one of the things that I see as I'm in and out of Facebook groups, especially a lot of the women's Facebook groups right now for crypto. The question that I see over and over and over is, how do I learn to be safer in this industry and make money? Where can I go?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a really big
You just got muted, Sarah. What causes that, Robin? Do you know by chance?
Sometimes if I'm on, it'll accidentally mute me. Like I'll hit it by
Yes, Sarah, like
accident.
it
Oh,
muted.
if a call comes in, sometimes that happens. If
Really?
she's getting a call.
So do we have
Sit
to
it
ask
out.
her to unmute again, I guess?
Can
Sarah,
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, someone called me. I just clicked end call and I'm unmuted automatically. But my thought is, going along the lines of you saying, for you to create webinars and things, if there was a funnel, and I'm in marketing too, if there was a funnel towards something like crypto university, do you want to make crazy money, mitigate risk, and see 10x's or whatever it is? I think that's something that, you could even auto do. And a lot of us in the community that are in these Telegram groups, on these Facebook groups, talking to people all the time, we as a community can point people to that and get them in the Vetter funnel and, help other people get in the space. So, I think this team is capable of it. Certainly not telling you guys what to do with marketing, just sharing what I'm seeing out there and what I know kept me out of crypto for so long. How, where's this crypto university where I can learn how to do this and not be doing it alone? So you guys have done it for me. And I thank you so much because, it's changing my life. It's changing my kids' life forever. So.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for that and for the gratitude you expressed and, and for reminding me. And I do know that there's a lot of people out there that do get what we're doing. And I apologize in advance to everybody. And I know I may sometimes come off as arrogant or this or that. It's just maybe a little bit of a defense mechanism to make sure, I don't lose interest in the project. When so many people are the wrong people for what we were aiming to attract early on, I just kind of put my nose down and think and just keep working and know that I'll attract exactly what we're aiming to if I just finish, what the vision was. But while I'm doing that, I know that there are a ton of people that are the right audience and that are here, rooting us on and know what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I appreciate you saying that. I do know it, but I'm glad you said that out loud and just to remind me of that. And just know, guys, like I'm a real thick-skinned, inside I'm kind of, like a little bit more sensitive than maybe I'd like to be. I put on kind of a thick skin to make sure I can just get the job done. And I see what this will be. And I, have the experience to know that it's totally happening. And so, and I know that everybody will be happy when it does. And so I kind of don't worry about what others think in the interim, because I know what it's going to be and I know what has to happen to make it happen. I try to do my best to share the process and stuff. But sometimes if I seem like I'm indifferent or whatever, I apologize. It's just, I'm better at getting the job done than maybe I am at, connecting with people and listening to everybody's points of view. I do my best. I really work hard at that, but it's not my strong point. It's just not. My strong point is developing systems, developing products, and I know what it takes. And I know that if everyone left today, it still will work because we'll build it and they will come, and in this case, because what we're building is a marketing machine into the product and into everything that we're doing and revenue streams, like I know that it will for a fact work because I've done it so many times before for traditional businesses. So, but thank you for reminding me of that. And thank you for the note of gratitude. I really appreciate it, Sarah. And on your idea of like a crypto university type thing, I'm sure that name is actually taken, but the concept I've definitely thought of a lot. I mean, it definitely fits right into this. We're going to start with something really small that is just based off of getting the advertising to work on YouTube, where it's like a small free class. And between that and what the video library or video vault in the dApp is going to become, I do think something like a crypto university that is for a cost will probably emerge. And maybe there'll be like a referral commission when people refer people in there, and it will lead people into Vetter. And then the revenue stream that comes from that, again, can go into buyback program, can go into, there could be the referral mechanism, but there can also be the rest of it going into, building the infrastructure for all of this. In the end, our goal is to make this completely decentralized, getting from where we are now to a fully functioning high revenue stream model that can then be, completely taken over by a decentralized DAO system. Easier said than done, but that's exactly what we're setting out to do. And hopefully get a lot of people rich in the meantime, while we get there. We had several people say that participated in the launch that they became millionaires in the Vetter launch. So it's happening. It's literally happening. And we just need to scale that up. Thanks again, Sarah. Appreciate that. Anybody else with any questions or anything at all during this session? And again, it can be something simple too, like, just you're having trouble with your connecting your wallet or something like that, like whatever, that's what this is all about, this Q&A, anything you need.
I think sometimes, Mike, it's the voices that are being vocal are the ones that are being negative more often than the ones that are there for us. So.
I think you're right about that, which does make sense.
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of messaging right now to schedule AMAs, and I've got a group of guys that I popped into a Telegram chat. So if you guys on this call, Sarah, like any of you guys want to support, like vetting, pre-vetting AMAs to bring to me to get either like a spot on the calendar and the hot list, a promotional banner ad, or like featured calendar spot, or like a highlight a video or a live AMA.
Robin,
I have a group that I started.
You're going to get hit from so many directions. You won't be able to follow up with them. So I don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
Well, no, it's easier for me, instead of receiving 1,001 private messages, I'm just going to put everybody in one group, and I can just connect in there with people based on you guys bringing me projects, and that way we can all work together. So
I'm going to recommend you meet with Phyllis on it first. She might have a different kind of process already.
She was the one that asked me to bring everyone together. So
into a group.
Yeah, my time zone's a little different right now. So because I'm 5 hours behind Eastern. So right now I prefer to communicate in a Telegram group, and that way I can just organize from there, and then I can assess kind of how to take it after this week.
So that's really different than how I envisioned it. Not that it isn't, better, but I think we better discuss it first.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm open.
After this call, let's discuss it. I'm just not quite sure how that turns into quality vetting. So let's discuss that, and then we'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I've gotten 3, 4, 5 different vetters sending me developers who want to promote, and they're sending me a lot of information that is very intensive, and it's like, all different, and it takes, a lot of time to go through each of them. So I thought, bringing it together would be helpful.
But before
for me.
that, let's meet and let's have that conversation first, and then we'll come up a process.
Yeah.
George has his hand up. This will be last question, or maybe a comment. Go ahead, George. I clicked the button. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, you kind of hit it on it in the last conversation. In our first round for Vetter, we've talked a lot about that. We spent a lot less money than we're going to spend now, and it brought in, somewhat by design, a lesser qualified prospect, which ended up being that 16,000 in the group that we've had some issues with. Can you kind of define who is our prospect now with this new marketing? Who is the perfect person that we're looking for that would fall right into the slot and go right down and spend money?
Yeah. So the ideal prospect is a great collaborator, or at least one who appreciates good collaboration, even if they themselves, maybe they don't see themselves having the communication skills, or maybe they feel a little timid, or whatever it may be. When I say that, it could be a broad group of people, but they fit well into collaboration, as opposed to, I don't know how to describe it other than like a juvenile type of communication. I really don't like the juvenile. I don't know how else to describe it. I think most here know what I mean. When I look at the crypto world, when I first entered Telegram groups and stuff, I was just in shock and dismay at how poor the communication skills were. And I mean more the mindset and the way they treated one another. And, there was always, good ones among them, but the majority, it seemed, that were vocal, as Jeremy said, the culture at large was not very inviting or supportive or collaborative in any way.
I would call it kindergarten. More.
Yeah, it felt like kindergarten, and even worse than kindergarten. Just
whatever's below that.
Like bully school. It was like really, the bully academy.
I was just shocked by it, and I think it's because a lot of money is being made, and there's no accountability. There's zero accountability, and there's so much money being made, and so it just brings a really interesting, a group in that's just on the take, and it invites scamming. A whole bunch of people don't know how to protect themselves, so there's all this scamming, and then also I think you have to be technically, very technically competent to have done well. I think it's getting easier, but up until now, to make all that money, you had to be technically competent, but you didn't really have to have any of the collaboration skills and the things that you usually would have to have in order to have any element of success, as we defined it in the past. So it just brought this culture together of people that just were on the take, and it invited a strange culture. I don't know how else to explain the phenomenon, but it was a very weird phenomenon that when I first entered into it, and I thought, man, it sure would be nice to have a place I could go where if I asked a question, people were kind in either answering or, letting me know they didn't want to answer. But I just didn't really want to be around so much negativity and so much juvenile language and, porn pictures flying across the Telegram screen and just weird, chaotic, craziness. I thought it would be nice to have a safe place. And that was kind of the vision for this. And I think, our ideal audience are either professionals or people that, if they don't consider themselves professionals, enjoy a professional environment. And if they don't really relate to that, at least enjoy a safe environment, a kind environment, a supportive environment, and really appreciate being around people that have good collaboration skills and that are looking for a healthy environment, I think is the best way to describe it. And, I think we can be inclusive and allow different personalities and stuff, but I think there's a certain level of respectfulness for one another that can, still exist in crypto. I don't see why it can't. I certainly think a lot more people are going to be successful, and a lot less people are going to be scammed in that kind of environment. So people who appreciate that, George, I think is the answer. And some people just don't. Now, in crypto in particular, there's a very large audience of people that just don't give a crap about what I just said or an environment like that. I tend to think that same group are the scammers and are on the take. And since there's so much opportunity to be on the take in this market still, it makes sense why there would be a lot of those. So I just hope to create a safer place. And I know you guys are wanting to contribute to that process too, for people to enter into. And, we're just attracting people who appreciate that, I guess. So one thing I want to mention, though, is whenever we do a launch, we are going to be inviting ourselves into, this frenzy environment that I don't think we should cut off from. And so there is going to be that, and we have to learn how to navigate that too. But when it comes to advertising and being able to manage who we're attracting, the audience I just described is who we're looking for. When it comes to actually launching a project for the very first time, it's kind of hard to get it out to the world without just opening it up to anyone and everyone out there. But then I think after that and the dust settles, we should just continue to try to maintain that culture. And when we have follow-up advertising like we're doing for Vetter now, like we're putting in place for Vetter now, it's going to be along the lines of what I just described that we're looking for. So I don't think we can completely remove that other audience from the whole process. But in the end, I think the ones that stick will be the ones that I was just describing.
Appreciate that. Your slides begin to show that, and I was capturing where you're headed. And I know that when that 16,000 was running at its worst, I did notice that just at least whoever in the group here would say something positive. There were all of the kindergarten kids down there bitching, but the least little positive transitional statement would kind of shift the whole crowd in that direction.
Yeah.
So they're followers, and
absolutely.
they're smart ass until somebody kind of says something positive, and they jump in and start become sheep and start following. So I think it may be,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
more
that's
of
why,
getting it,
that's why
going
I
in
don't
that
want to.
direction, and it keeps going
Yeah.
that way.
I don't want to omit them, like, right? Like, well, like
Right.
for example, when VPAD, which won't be called VPAD, launches, I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of the kindergarten culture mixed in there. And again, the stronger our community gets, you know, in the more clear everyone is on where we're going and what we're doing, and the more successful it is as it goes forward, I think, as you're talking about there, we'll be influencing a lot of people that are kind of used to the crappy culture, and the ones that, you know, maybe just weren't around a lot of positivity and a lot of healthy collaboration will actually be drawn to it, you know, that may
Yeah.
not have otherwise realized that they were actually would be drawn to it. And
Is
so,
it possible that kindergarten crowd comes to the front because they don't know how
Yeah.
crypto
I
works?
mean, but honestly,
They may end up being our best users.
well, some of them are just nasty.
Some of it is that way.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah. If you don't learn healthy.
I'm not saying that they'll never learn, but I you know, some of them don't want to, you know, they want to be disruptive.
Right.
But you know, but I think you're right that there is going to be a large percentage that can shift as long as our community's loud enough and strong enough. Then that would be the case.
Yeah.
Guys, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for questions, contributions. We're going to keep rolling here. Things are going to get a lot more organized. You're going to see the video vault, the video library and the dApp come alive. Initially, it won't look like a lot, but you'll think it's pretty cool because it's set up like Netflix in terms of how you can scroll and keep track of where you're at. And it's like, it can be massive and it's extremely well organized. Initially, when it launches, there'll just be a little bit in there, but it's going to continue to grow and improve. The videos that you see on the dApp itself will all be upgraded as we go forward. We're just laying this foundation. It's just going to continue to evolve and grow. Don't miss tonight's call, 6 o'clock Pacific, to get the first look at the details on VPAD, Launchpad launch, the private sale. That's going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than Better's launch, there's no question. It's going to have more resources behind it. It's going to have more time to put it together. It's going to be massive, and it's going to help Better in a direct and very big way. And that will be clear tonight. So be there if you can. If you can't, we will have the replay out, but I mean, definitely watch it as quickly as you can. We have over 1,000 people registered for that. So, you know, you don't want to be too much of a delay and fall behind on that, because there'll be a lot of people that will be there. So once you guys all have a chance to be there too. So again, I recognize some names here who said they couldn't be on it live. Look for the replay. We'll have it out tonight if you can't make it live. All right, guys, thanks again. We're going to keep rolling. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Mahalo.